All right, let's get real. Let's talk about something that plagues so many of us, something that can really impact our confidence. My skin's biggest nemesis, the uninvited guests that always seem to show up no matter what I do. Blackheads. Those pesky little dots that stubbornly cling to my pores. My T-zone is oily, like perpetually shiny. My cheeks are dry, sometimes flaky. It's a constant battle to find the right balance, and blackheads? Well, they've always set up camp, a permanent residence on my nose and chin. It's like they're taunting me. I've tried everything. Scrubs, clay masks, the kind that promise to suck out every impurity, pore strips, those satisfying yet ultimately temporary solutions, but nothing, absolutely nothing, gave lasting results. The frustration was real. Pore strips were satisfying, I'll admit. Seeing all that gunk come out was strangely addictive. But the blackheads always came back, sometimes worse, angrier, and more determined than before. I wanted more than a quick fix. I was tired of the Band-Aid solutions. I needed something that worked deep in the pores, something that would actually address the root of the problem. After years of trial and error and a graveyard of half-empty bottles, I was ready for a real solution, a game changer, something that would finally give me the clear skin I craved. That's when I started looking into chemical exfoliants, a world I had previously been too scared to venture into. Specifically, something with a reputation for tackling blackheads at the source, not just masking them temporarily. I wanted a product with science behind it, not just hype and pretty packaging. I needed something legitimate. My search, after countless hours of research, led me to a cult favorite, a BHA exfoliant, specifically Paula's Choice 2% BHA liquid exfoliant, known for deep cleaning pores and banishing blackheads. The stage was set, the players were in place, for a new skincare adventure, one that I hoped would finally lead to victory in the blackhead battle. If you're into skincare, you've heard of Paula's Choice 2% BHA liquid exfoliant. It's famous for fighting blackheads and pore congestion, with rave reviews everywhere. The secret? Salicylic acid, a BHA that's oil-soluble and penetrates deep into pores to clear out gunk. Unlike AHAs, which work on the surface, BHAs go deeper, making them ideal for oily, blackhead-prone skin. I did my research, watched reviews, and saw consistent results for people like me. Dermatologists recommend BHAs for their exfoliating and anti-inflammatory powers. With high hopes and a bit of nerves, I decided to give Paula's Choice BHA a real shot. I was ready to see if it could finally clear up my stubborn blackheads. When I first decided to incorporate a BHA exfoliant into my routine, I knew I needed to take it slow and steady. Jumping in headfirst with strong actives can often lead to irritation and breakouts, which is the opposite of what I wanted. So I started slow, using Paula's Choice BHA just a few nights a week after cleansing my face thoroughly. This allowed my skin to gradually adjust to the exfoliant. I found that the best way to apply it was with a soft cotton pad, ensuring even distribution across my skin. I paid special attention, focusing on my T-zone, which tends to be oilier, and those areas that are prone to blackheads and clogged pores. These areas needed the most attention. Remember, less is more. A little BHA goes a long way, and overdoing it can lead to dryness and irritation. You only need a thin layer to get the benefits. After applying the BHA, I waited a few minutes, usually around 5 to 10, before layering on a hydrating serum to replenish moisture and then sealing it all in with a nourishing moisturizer. This step is crucial to prevent dryness. And of course, sunscreen every single morning was an absolute must, without exception. This is because exfoliants, especially BHAs, can make your skin significantly more sensitive to the sun's harmful rays, increasing the risk of sunburn and sun damage. To avoid any potential conflicts or irritation, I kept the rest of my skincare routine relatively simple and streamlined, no introducing any new active ingredients, focusing on just gentle cleansing to remove impurities, the BHA exfoliant to target pores, ample hydration to keep my skin balanced, and of course that all-important SPF for sun protection. This way I could really isolate the effects of the BHA and accurately see what it was doing for my skin, without any interference from other products. If I noticed any signs of irritation such as redness, dryness, or peeling, I planned to immediately cut back on the frequency of use. But if my skin seemed to be handling it well and tolerating the BHA, I'd consider gradually increasing the frequency to see if I could further improve my skin's texture and clarity. Ultimately, the goal was to achieve clearer pores, minimize congestion, and reveal smoother, more radiant skin. Week 1, the starting point of the skincare journey. I was eager to see what changes, if any, would occur. Slight tingling, a very subtle sensation that let me know the product was indeed working, but no major changes were visible to the naked eye just yet. It was all about patience and consistency at this stage. But even with the lack of visible transformation, my skin felt a bit smoother to the touch, a promising sign that something positive was happening beneath the surface. No irritation developed, which was a relief. So, I stuck with the every other night application, carefully monitoring my skin's reaction each time. By week 2, I started to notice a subtle refinement. My pores looked a little less clogged, a welcome development in my quest for clearer skin. However, along with the positive changes, some dryness popped up, particularly around my nose and chin. A common side effect I knew, but still something to address. To combat the dryness, I moisturized more diligently, focusing on those affected areas to restore hydration and balance. I also noticed a couple of small pimples emerging, probably just my skin purging itself of impurities, a temporary setback on the road to improvement. Week 3 brought real progress, the kind that made the initial weeks of patience worthwhile. The texture was noticeably smoother, and I observed fewer of those pesky small blackheads that had been stubbornly clinging to my skin. And overall, my skin just felt softer and more supple, a testament to the product's effectiveness and my consistent routine. The big, stubborn blackheads were still there, holding their ground, but even they appeared less noticeable, less prominent than before. I decided to keep the frequency steady at every other night, carefully balancing the benefits with the need to avoid excessive dryness and irritation. By week 4, the final week of this initial trial, my skin looked undeniably clearer and brighter, a significant improvement from where I started. I was experiencing fewer breakouts, and my pores appeared cleaner and more refined, contributing to a healthier overall complexion. Now, not all blackheads were completely eradicated, let's be realistic, but the overall improvement was obvious, even upon close inspection. And the dryness, which had been a concern, was now easily manageable with the consistent use of a good, hydrating moisturizer. Overall, my skin felt significantly healthier, more balanced, and more even in tone and texture, a truly satisfying result. It was clear that the BHA was indeed making a real and noticeable difference in the overall health and appearance of my skin. The biggest win? My skin's texture, so much smoother and softer. Pores looked less congested, and random breakouts were fewer. My complexion was brighter and healthier overall. The downside? Some dryness and flakiness, especially early on, so moisturizer was essential. I had a mild purging phase, but it passed quickly. As for blackheads, most of the smaller ones cleared up and the stubborn ones faded. The BHA really dissolved the gunk inside my pores. The liquid is watery, absorbs fast, and a little goes a long way. The scent is clinical but fades quickly, and the bottle lasts a while, worth the price. It's the best improvement I've seen for my blackheads from any single product. After a month, I'm impressed Paula's Choice BHA delivered real results. My skin is smoother, clearer, and blackheads are much less of a problem. I'll keep using it, maybe less often for maintenance, but it's earned a spot in my routine. I recommend it for oily or combination skin blackheads and clogged pores or mild acne. If you're dry or sensitive, start slow and patch test. Always use sunscreen with exfoliants. For me, the benefits far outweigh the minor dryness. Paula's Choice. BHA gets a big thumbs up.